Okay, we're live. Oh, we got people already by the looks of things. And see if we can get caught up here. There we are. Okay, so Angela's here. Hi, Angela. And Elaine's here. Happy Sunday, Stephen and Walter, she says. And Kathy's here. So, yeah. Okay. Well, just give it a couple of seconds here to see if more people join in. I'm not in a happy state of mind right now. And he doesn't help it any. Because he's laughing at me about it. I'll explain in a minute. We're having... Hi, Mal. Hi, Ilona. Yeah, well, today's drink is a Caesar, Virgin Caesar. And we're eating my mother's cheesies. I bought her some cheesies because she had this craving. She wanted cheesies. So this is a few weeks ago. So I got her cheesies, but I bought a great big bag of them. So I was sort of filling up a Tupperware container with cheesies and taking them over to her. I'm not very comfortable. But taking them over to her in the hospital in Tupperware containers, and I'd fill them up. Well, now she's sick of cheesies. Don't want that anymore. So she goes on these crazes all the time. So
we never have them in the house.
we never have them in the house now. And just as well, because my mother, she sits there in bed eating cheesies, and this orange stuff gets off all over her hands, and it's kind of like watching a 5-year-old eat. It's actually kind of makes me sick. But because she gets her hands wet then when she's licking these things or eating them, and then she's all orange. So whatever. Next week it'll be something new. Oh yeah, and then I had to go and get her exercise balls too. She has decided that she should do, those squeezy ball things that you use for your grip. Well, she's got arthritis in her hands. Actually, her hands are kind of like witch's claws. They're bony and they're kind of a weird shape, but
yeah, she sort of has them sort of like this. It's
yeah,
really weird.
It's like claws.
And they're crooked too.
Mm. And I've said to her, do they hurt? And she says, no. And she thinks it might be arthritis or something like that. The doctors looked at her. They never seemed to say anything. But she thought, well, she'd have one of these exercise ball things and squeeze on them. Those aren't so easy to get. We finally found a set of 3 at Walmart. They were in different firmness. I imagine even the softest one she's not going to be able to handle, but I'll take them all.
What do you mean they're not that easy to get? We went to one store.
Well, we're looking at, we were hunting high and low. I'm just going to take this pen and I'm going to just put it right between your eyes. That's how I feel right now. Anyway, let's reenact Psycho without the shower. Okay.
You made it sound like we went to like 15 different stores. We went to one store. We got them there.
Yeah, but we had to look all over the place. Oh, never mind. Who cares? The point is she won't use them anyways because
I know.
They'll
She does that all the time. She wants something. She wants something, and then when you get it for her, she doesn't use it.
Hi, Jody.
Either that, or she'll drop her balls on the floor, and she won't be able.
Oh yeah, that'll be the next thing, and then somebody will come in and trip over them, and then we'll have a lawsuit or something.
Yeah.
So I don't know. But anyways, it's like, what else did she want? Oh yeah, one of the other ladies in her room has headphones, like I call them the Princess Leia headphones, the big round ones. Kids all wear those now. It's something we used to wear in the 70s. Well, those are back in style now. Well, for her TV set, because the TV set has headphones, but they're cheap headphones. Where are you going?
I have on my nose.
Oh. They're cheap headphones, the kind you get on the airplane when they used to hand them out on airplanes. They don't do that much anymore. So she thought those might be better. And of course she found out from this lady that she got them at Staples, which is a stationery store, and they were only $10. I said fine.
No, for the cheap pair.
Yeah, for the cheap pair. I mean, I knew that at $10 it's not going to make any difference in the sound, but whatever keeps her happy. So off we went to Staples, and I found a pair for $10. Took them. Actually, the Staples is right next to the hospital she's in, and in fact, we park in their parking lot. when we go to visitors. So we popped back over with them, and I tried them out, and they didn't sound any better than what she had. But if it makes her happy, so she's got them. And I asked her the other day about them, and I said, "Are they working okay?" "Well, yes, but
They're kind of big.
they're kind of big." And I went, "Yes, Mother, they're kind of big. I told you this. You've seen them."
Well, last time, remember she was in that other room and she saw a woman across the at the other bed had those earplugs.
Yeah,
And she
earbuds,
all
but-
suddenly decided she wanted earplugs. But we talked her out of them because she'd have even a harder time with them.
Yeah, she wouldn't be able to figure them out. I mean, my mother, when it comes to technology, doesn't have a clue. Mainly because she never wanted to have a clue. She had many opportunities in her life when my dad was still around and he had a computer and stuff, and no, she wouldn't touch it. So, she gets these ideas in her head that she should have these things, and well, whatever she wants,
But then
I
she
get.
won't learn how to use them. So
No. So, hi Deb. Hi Janet. So let's see. Jody, she says she's out crafting on her deck. It's a beautiful day while watching the live feed. She's in Colorado. Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
so nice here today. It's kind of gray, overcast, bit
I don't know what the
dampish, I think.
temperature is.
I haven't been outside yet today, so I'm not really sure.
the leaves are all beginning to turn color.
Yeah, this fall is approaching. Well, it's already here, actually. Officially, fall already started. So, anyways, yeah, what else can I say about my mother? Actually, she's been taking part in a few of the activities in the
And
hospital.
actually, she's been looking pretty
And she's
good.
been
a
looking
bit
pretty
more-
good, too. A little bit more.
I mean, the other
with
week
it.
she was when her blood pressure was low. She was looking. Your sister said she
Yeah.
looked like she was ready to drop dead. But
Well, she's rallied back, so whatever. But, so, anyways, why am I a little off the game today? Why am I a little pissed off? It's because I've been working on that quilt, the one for our bed, the big one. I finally finished quilting it. Today I was putting on the binding. That's the last step. So, I got the binding on the one side all the way around. I'm pulling it around to the front to stitch it down, which is the last stage of it. I get around one of the corners on the quilt and look on the other side and realize some of my batting can be seen because it didn't catch when I put the binding around. And do you think you can fix it easily? No, because the corners are mitered and it happens to be right at a corner. And I tried various things. I even got to the point of desperation and grabbed a purple Sharpie because the backing material is purple. And because, sometimes you can hide a few mistakes in quilts with Sharpies. I know other quilters do that. Well, no, I'm going to have to take the binding all off and start again. And I'm not happy about that. Of course, some people in here are going, "Why, you made these things before. You know how to bind them. Why, you have this problem
Well,
now."
you keep saying you made like about 8 or 9 quilts since the beginning of and you do the binding the same every time, so you would think that you'd figure out how to do it by now.
It wasn't that I didn't know how to do it. It's
Yes, you are. You're sitting there going, "Oh, I should have put it on the back, or I should have put it on." the
Well,
front."
now I'm all confused about it, so I had to check that. Anyways, it's sitting in a heap downstairs, and that's where it's going to sit until tomorrow. Because I'm frustrated with it right now, but I will finish it. On the other hand, I did finish quilting the Christmas hanger, and it actually turned out okay. So you saw this before last week, but now it's all quilted. Now you probably can't really tell on the video the quilting. See, if I put it up closer, you can see there you go, you can see some of the quilting that's in it. This I'm happy with. It's not perfect, but it seems that quilters now have this saying, finished is better than perfect. I think that's what quilters who don't get things done perfectly say that, but may now become my new saying as well. Let's see what people say. Mel says, "How is weather in Canada? Getting cold. Last week we have been below zero already, and last week some parts of Finland had first snow already." Nope,
Well,
we haven't
had a frost yet.
and it hasn't been really cold. It's been cooler.
We haven't had to put the furnace on yet, so.
No, it's been dropping down to what, about 18,
Now, mind you,
17?
our house is very insulated, so.
Yeah. But apparently out west, I was talking to Kim of Quilter's Way, and they've already had snow in Calgary.
Yeah.
But they're further north, and that's not unusual. They didn't have a lot of snow. I think it melted away after it hit. But yeah, it's colder out there. So, but where we live,
I'm not sure what the temperature is today. Let me go check.
well, I don't
I
know.
don't have my phone with me.
Oh, well, where's your phone?
It's in my bedroom.
Well, anyways, yeah, Kathy, binding is hard. For some reason, you wouldn't think it would be, but you're working in a very tight space, minimal, like 2.5 inches of material, but it gets folded in half, and then that gets sewn to one side, then you pull it around to the other side and you have to stitch it. So you're dealing with a little strip about this big by the time you're done. It's really tight sewing. And it just drives me nuts. As much as how careful I'd be, I thought, no problem, I've got everything gathered. I do have a tendency sometimes when I get sewing, for some reason I miss catching two pieces of material together and then I have a hole. And then I have to fix it. And that's what happened this time. And yeah, I really was hoping that I'd have it done today so I could wash it and it's all done. And I was thinking about taking it to the guild on Tuesday. I don't think that's going to happen. No.
It's 13 degrees today, so it is kind of cool.
Oh, it is cooler today.
And that translates to about 55 degrees in Fahrenheit. So.
So fall weather. Well, next weekend is Thanksgiving weekend. And now, that presents a bit of a problem because we're going to my sister's next Sunday for dinner. And usually we go over there at about 5 o'clock. So we either have Stephen and Walter an hour earlier, which I suppose we could do. It makes it a little rough on some people that, like Nairi and that. But
It might make it a little better for somebody that's Mel or whatever.
yeah, so I think we will do Stephen and Walter live next Sunday, but we'll do it probably, well, if we do it at 3, yeah, it would give us enough time to get over to my sister. So, yeah, probably. So next week, Stephen and Walter live will be at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time instead of 4 o'clock, okay, because of Thanksgiving.
Should be eating these.
Well, you say that about everything. You say, I shouldn't be eating this, but you eat them. Oh, I ate too much. I shouldn't have eaten so much. I shouldn't have had that, but you still have it.
Okay, fine.
Whiner.
Yeah. Well.
Whatever. Let's see. Elaine says, did you piece the angel on the wall quilt? The quilt is gorgeous. Applause, applause, applause. Nope, that's embroidered. I made the blocks, and on 6 of the blocks, I put them in my embroidery machine and had them do the angels. And then I finished putting the quilt together and quilted it after that. So they're not pieced, they're embroidered. Actually, I've been taking, as you know, an embroidery class, and we made some neat things, which I'll show on my vlog tomorrow, but we did, they call it freestanding applique. And it's kind of cool. We made these leaves and things, which you could use as coasters or as table decorations, or you could sew a bunch of them together for a table runner. If I get a chance this week, I thought I'd make a few for my sister, because she likes to throw things on her table, you know, to dress it up on, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, that kind of thing. So I might do that. Depends. It's going to be another busy week. And what else? You've been doing your sewing. Oh, your sewing class got canceled, though, this week, because the instructor had a migraine. See what you did to Shirley?
Yeah.
Gave her a headache. So Tuesday's all sewing day for you.
Tuesday's all sewing day for me too, because I got class during the day, and then I've got a class at night.
Yeah, so you're gone most of the day.
But luckily, that's the only. I think that's the only overlap. I don't know. Is that the only overlap? No. I probably have the overlap for a couple of weeks now.
Yeah, because Shirley will
Yeah.
move everything ahead.
Tuesdays I'll be sewing hell.
Aw. Welcome to my world. Okay. Talked about mom. Talked about sewing classes. You saw my hanger. Oh, I had my echocardiogram for my supposed heart murmur. That was kind of interesting. I've never had one of those before. Guy took a while. It took him about 20 minutes. I could see the screen. So it's like it looks, well, it's an ultrasound, and I've never had one of those before. And it was just like, what you see on TV or when they do the, for pregnancies and things and check that. So I could see my heart sort of boom, boom, boom. Well, it's a weird looking picture. It's gray and lines, sonogram or whatever they call it. But he was doing a lot of things with it. And then he stuck his little thing that he puts the little jelly on that he pressed to the heart. He stuck it on my stomach and he stuck it on my throat. So I don't know what that's all about, why they do that. But anyways, I have not heard anything about it. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Or whether the doctor has seen the results yet. I mean, it was Monday. You'd think they'd see it by now, but I don't know how that works. But anyways, so whether I have a heart murmur or not, don't know. Can't say. So couldn't tell from those diagrams that I saw, or the thing that was going by back and forth, like my heart pumping away. I asked him, I said afterwards, so is it a boy or a girl? He said twins. So I have a feeling he's heard that joke before. So that's all about that. Well, Mel says 1 hour earlier sounds good. By the way, when's your daytime saving start this year?
I think that's
Usually November. It used to be earlier.
Yeah, it was.
And then
I looked it up the other. Yeah, it used to be around Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But last 2 years, the government decided to move
The
to
first
November.
weekend in November.
I think you're right. You're looking it up. Yeah. Jody says, Stephen, are you?
Sunday, November 4th.
Yeah. So it's the first Sunday of November.
Yeah.
So Mel, it's November 4th. Is when we go to daylight savings time. Jody says, are you planning on embroidering your initials in here on the corner of your quilt? I've seen that done, and I think it's a nice touch. Not actually embroidered them on the quilt, but I have made some embroidered quilt labels that I sew into the quilt after it's all done. But yeah, you could do that. You could embroider in. The only trick there is if you're machine embroidering, it would go straight through the quilt, all the layers, and I don't think you'd want that. You'd have to put your name on maybe one of the blocks or something before you actually do the quilting. So it's easier, I think, if you make these labels up and then just hand sew them into the corner after you're done. That's what I've been doing on the last couple of quilts that I made.
I just realized something, that it's after Halloween this year.
What is?
Daylight savings time. Usually it's before.
No. The last 5 years
yeah,
or so,
okay,
it's been in
right.
November. Yeah, it used to come before then.
Yeah.
But then the government decided whatever
okay.
there was wisdom of that. But that's been quite a few years ago
Okay,
they
I
decided
didn't
that.
realize that.
Jody says, Walter, have you gotten together with your stained glass friends lately?
No, because my first sewing class was on the night of my stained glass dinner. So I had to let them know that I couldn't make it. So our next one is scheduled for December 4th, I believe, which is a Monday.
December 4th.
Yeah.
That's always way.
I have to, yeah, I think it's December 4th is the next time I'm getting together with them.
Oh, okay.
And then this Wednesday is I remind you, my boss's retirement.
Oh, I forgot about that.
So I'm going to that. I'm going for the lunch, and then there's a thing at 3 o'clock too.
Oh, so what time will you be home from
I'm
that?
not sure.
Oh. So let's see. Probably don't need to cook dinner Tuesday night. Don't need to cook dinner Wednesday night.
And
Thursday
Monday I
night.
go into the gym. So
Oh, shoot. Well, Enjoy dinner tonight because there's no more this week.
We mean enjoy dinner. I'm cooking it.
Yeah, enjoy cooking it. Yeah. Yeah, what are you making?
I'm gonna try and do chicken in the Instapot. I've never done that before. Just
Oh.
see.
Deb says, guys, every time Walter talks, the sound goes funny, echoing and jolting.
Oh, I don't know.
Say something.
Hello.
Well, that's not going to give us much to go
Oh,
by.
I don't know.
Is
The
it still happening, Deb?
Bouncing off the.
Well, we've never had that problem before. It's
No.
the same setup as usual. So, why would it happen only when you speak?
I don't know.
I don't know. Mel says, same here. Sound has some kind of breaks and sounds funny. Was thinking if it's my connection, but Deb seems to have the same problem. I just checked the plug on the microphone to make sure it was all the way into the iPad, and it is. Anybody else having that problem? Deb says, no, it's okay at the minute, just every so often. And Kathy says she's having the same problem. Not all the time. Oh, that's weird. I don't think it's our system. Maybe it's something to do with YouTube again. I don't know. Well, hopefully.
We'll have to test the microphone
Yeah.
next time.
Tracy says it stopped. Elaine says no constant. Not constant, but it does happen today. Huh. Has it ever happened before? Mel says, yep, a few minutes, it's normal, and then starts again. Okay. I'm going to give feedback here. And then starts again. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to give feedback here. And then starts again. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to give feedback here. And then starts again. What?
Yeah, because it keeps.
I'm going to give feedback. And then starts again. Okay, now it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, now it's gonna go crazy.
Okay, now it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, now it's gonna go crazy.
Okay, well,
It's not a good idea.
That's not a good idea to try that, but okay. Well, I guess we'll just have to hope it doesn't get too bad. All right. What else is on the agenda here? What's newsworthy? Anything this week?
No, they're still negotiating NAFTA.
Oh yeah, NAFTA. For those of you that don't live in North America, NAFTA is the big trade deal that we have in North America between the three countries that are in North America, Canada, the US, and Mexico. And we've had a deal, stands for the North American
Free
Trade
trade
Agreement, which we've had for quite a few years.
Yeah, it was instituted way back, quite a ways, a long time ago.
Which I don't know what advantage it's ever been to us anyways.
It did make things like, because it used to be that cotton towels and cotton products were really, really, really expensive here. And that has come down, and that's a lot cheaper now than it used to be. But I don't know, obviously manufacturing, a lot of our manufacturing went to the US, and so I don't know if we've really had major benefits or major.
I don't know, maybe they have at the business level or something,
Yeah.
but as an average consumer, we don't know. But anyways, Trump wanted to reopen up the deal.
Because they felt it was unfair.
Yeah,
for
he
them.
thought that the Americans were getting gypped. Like, oh, we horrible Canadians, we took the Americans for a ride. Yeah, like, that's never happened. Well, and I mean that's never happened. I mean, if anybody's going to take anybody for a ride, it's going to be the United States government because they pretty much screwed everybody in the world. Sorry if you're American, but your country has. And our prime minister is not
I'm
going
going to go downstairs for a minute and see if I can. check
Okay,
this
fine.
out.
Our prime minister, Justin Trudeau, he's not putting up with the bullying that Trump is trying to do to us right now. And Trumpy's threatened all kinds of things, new tariffs and all this kind of stuff. And Justin's keeping it steady. And you know, good for him. We as Canadians support Justin in this effort too. We will not be bullied. We've come of age now. We're not just the kindly little people that live in the frozen north next door to the Americans that can be stepped on. Okay? And you know, the Americans don't want to deal with us. They don't want to make a trade deal with us. Want to put on their tariffs? Go ahead, because they're not the only country in the world that you can trade with in this day and age. And I think we should be looking into more trade with the EU. And we've already got deals with China and stuff like that. So, whatever. But that's politics, eh? Okay. What are people saying? Okay, Mel says it's still... Walter's gone downstairs to check on the computer to see what's happening, if we can figure it out. Oh, Phyllis says you bumped the camera when you did the quilt close-up. But that probably wouldn't make any difference, because there's nothing really that it can change, because we're not actually using a camera. We're using an iPad. So, I don't know. But anyways, maybe this is just something quirky today, and hopefully it doesn't interrupt us. So other things that are newsworthy? Hasn't been a heck of a lot going on. We have our version of Trump, as you know, here in Ontario, Ford. He tries all kinds of stupid things. I don't know what he's got. Oh yeah, the next thing he's talked about is this one thing he did that I thought was pretty good. He got rid of something that we have in Ontario called Drive Clean. We've had it for quite a few years, but basically...
It makes a noise when you hit the paper and stuff. But I don't know, I don't hear anything else.
Unless my microphone's getting a short end or something.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, maybe that's it. Well, anyways, we'll have to test that out and see. So as I was saying, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so Ford, he's gotten rid of this Drive Clean thing, which we had to pay to have our cars tested every other year in order to renew our license. We had to do this Drive Clean thing first, so you had to go to a garage that had the equipment. They'd plug in your car for this. Of course, you'd have to make an appointment for it or whatever. And then you had to pay, I don't know, what did you have to pay?
It's around close to $50.
Yeah, to say that, yeah, your car's fine, it's not polluting. And then you could renew your license for the car. It was a money grab. It was basically a tax. And, Ford got rid of it. Now, of course, he's gotten rid of a lot of environmental other safeguards, and he's got the federal government all upset about this now because he's basically going against what Canada has agreed to on the national or on the international level in terms of doing our part to improve the environment. But personally, I'm glad he got rid of this drive-through free thing, because really it wasn't they were couching it as it being an environmental kind of thing, but it really wasn't. It was a money grab, a tax grab. So that's one thing he's done that I'm in favor of. They should have got rid of that a long time ago.
Well, I think it was originally when they set it up originally, they had there were a lot of really old cars on the road. That's not good. really old cars on the road that were polluting a lot.
Falling off your stool?
Yeah. Really old cars on the road that were polluting a lot. And so, because they said it was 1 in 6 cars were polluting a lot, now it's only 1 in... Yeah. No, 1 in 10, 20... now it's 1 in 20. It used to be 1 in 6.
Well, the one thing, though, he did do is he's focusing the attention of the Drive Clean program on transport trucks. And they are big polluters, because those trucks... If you ever get on one behind the highway or that, and when they step on the gas pedal, it blows all this black smoke out of their stacks and everything like that. So I'm glad he's going after them. However, those are businesses, and he's all for businesses, because the Conservative Party are the business people.
They're the equivalent to our Republicans.
Yeah. So as soon as some of these businesses fight back at him, who knows what he'll do with that. He says he's for the average man, but he's not. He's not even close to that. He's a millionaire himself. I mean,
he's a millionaire that has a business here, and a business in Chicago, and the head office is in Chicago.
Yeah, that's a great one. Canadian business guy, he's the premier of Ontario, and his head office of his company's in the States. Yeah, okay. But anyways, he's an idiot. So, heaven only knows what else he's going to do down the line. Oh yeah, he's already said that they're not going to, they were supposed to, the last government had put in a bill to increase minimum wage to $15 an hour starting January the 1st of 2019. And in the meantime, they also raised it last year up to $14 an hour. I don't know what it was before, 12 something?
It was 11 something.
Maybe.
Maybe it was 12
I
something.
think it was over 12, but whatever. Yep, the new government is gotten rid of that government bill for raising it to 15, and he's even talking about rolling back the minimum wage. Well, for somebody who promised that he worked on a platform that he was for the average guy is making the minimum wage. And idiot. I mean, he's just taking everything. He's doing everything Trump does. I mean, finally I saw a news report where they compared the two. I thought, this is so glaring. Maybe they figured everybody saw that already and that wasn't newsworthy. But I was surprised they didn't leap on it before. But he is. He's our mini Trump.
I even saw a photograph, was a picture of him with our progressive conservative guy with a toupee, Trump toupee.
Oh yeah, yeah. So there's idiots everywhere, I guess. Hi, Brenda. Mel says we have to do this test every year at the same time as a yearly car inspection.
Mm.
Yeah, ours was every other year, I think.
No, they had it pushed out to 1 in 7. Hard. You don't have to get it tested till your car is 7 years old, and then it's once every other year. But it was originally you had to have it tested after 3 years.
Well, okay, whatever. All I know is I hated having to do that. So I'm glad that's done. So anyways, that was in our news these days. So, what's eating Walter? Couldn't think of anything.
No, I couldn't think of any. Stupid people. Who knows? I don't know.
Well, they're everywhere. I see stupid people. Yeah, I can't think of anything this week that...
I've been doing too much, so I don't...
Well, what did we do this week? We must have done something.
Went to the fabric store twice and went to see your mother.
Yeah.
And I went to lunch and... What did we do?
I don't know. Jeez.
I probably bought some things.
I want to go away.
Yeah, I do too. I really feel...
I want to go away.
Really feel like cooped up here because we're used to going away at least twice a year, so...
Yeah, and usually we go away this time of the year, too. But not this year. Gotta wait till mother is in a home. So,
I can't remember what we did this week. Must be bad.
Yeah.
Well, actually, it's my anniversary yesterday of my 1 year retirement.
Oh, yeah, it was yesterday.
Yeah.
The 29th. Oh, okay.
And I didn't accomplish nearly as much as I should have.
Yeah, well. Surprise. Whatever. Oh, I know one thing's pissing me off, though, is when people ask you as a volunteer to do things for them and give you carte blanche pretty much to design something the way you want to.
Oh, yeah. That.
And then they keep coming back with more suggestions after you get it done about what they want. And what I'm talking about is the art gallery. Oh, the art gallery's pissed me off so bad in the last while anyways. So, that we're volunteers there. And you've heard the song and dance number about the fact that I used to be on their education team. And then they kind of collapsed us last year because they got this new curriculum and all this stuff. And this one person has taken it over. She's all that in a bag of chips. And anyways, they didn't have even the guts to tell us.
They did. They sent you a letter.
Okay, why don't you tell the story and jump right ahead?
Go ahead.
There's a lead up to things, and then you just blow it.
Well, I thought you just told them that they didn't tell you anything, and now go ahead.
Well, now you lost me. Put me
Okay,
off
go
my
ahead.
train of thought. Right between the eyes.
See, if you keep doing this, that goes onto the microphone.
Oh, well, maybe that's what was happening.
Because that's all I kept hearing when I was downstairs was you rattling this thing, and then you keep going.
The next sound you will hear will be a sharp, pointy thing going into a soft head. All right. Anyways.
There you go again.
Well, okay. Yeah. But I have a pen in my hand every week.
Okay, well,
So
I don't know.
Anyways. Yeah. So I was looking for other opportunities for us to volunteer. So we had a meeting at the art gallery with the person who looks after volunteers. And we got a few other new things up that sound okay. But one of those things is to create this welcome or thank you swag bag for people who come on RMG Fridays and do some entertaining because they don't get paid for that. Basically, what they're getting is free publicity because they're usually local groups, bands, solo artists, things like that. So sure, I could design that. Now, they're not getting much in the bag, but it's a bag. And in the bag, one of the things they're getting is a button. And they wanted me to design this button that basically said, thanks for supporting RMG Fridays or something like that. So I designed a button. Then they come back and decide they wanted a different background in the button. And so they sent me backgrounds. Fine. I put the backgrounds on. Then they decided they wanted to change the wording. Then they decided they wanted two different types of buttons. One's for the people who were performing, and one that was more generic for people at large that were there that weren't performing but were helping out in some way. Fine. It seemed like suddenly, instead of one person doing all of this, there was about 3 people putting their input and none were talking to each other. So I was getting very confused about what the heck do you want? And so I redid them umpteen million times. So finally, we've decided on a final form for it. Maybe. But I'm telling you, over at that art gallery, they basically use the volunteers in a way to do the Joe jobs that they don't want to do, and then
Well, see, the thing is
they
first of all, they asked you to do your own design, then they turn around and redesign it on you.
Yeah.
Because she put a white bag with a sticker on the outside, and it was sort of a pink color, pink tissue paper in it, and this button and all this other stuff. They redesigned the button. They decided that he needed black tissue paper instead of pink tissue paper.
The pink tissue paper went with the logo color. The logo color is magenta. That's why I used pink tissue paper. So yeah.
Didn't like the ribbon that was on the outside. You used pink ribbon. You wanted black ribbon.
Black ribbon.
I mean, if you wanted that in the first place, why the hell didn't you say, "Oh, can you make me a bag that has like black accents and stuff like that?" But
yeah.
No.
But that's typical of what they do over there, anyways. But then, I think we've got that settled out. But who knows? Next thing is now there's a set of cards at each one. They wanted to put in cards. Well, I made the cards using my own designs with them. It's my artwork that's on the cards, basically. And I'm providing all of this free, okay? It's costing them nothing for this. I'm sort of footing the bill here. Now, mind you, I'm not using really expensive stuff. And making the cards is easy to do because I always have cards on hand and I make them all the time to give to people or whatever. I actually put a little sticker on the bottom of each of the cards on the back that said original artwork by Stephen Bland for RMG, which is the Robert McLaughlin Gallery. I figured, what's wrong with a little self-promotion? Next thing I figured they're going to say is they're going to take a look at the cards and go, "Oh, we'd rather you put on the cards the Painters 11." Painters 11 is a group of painters from the 1950s that were abstract painters that come from this area. And our art gallery is the home of their collection for this. And they have the rights to these paintings and stuff. And if they do say that, I'm going to say, fine, do it yourself. Because I'm going to take it as an insult. I'm sorry.
Yeah, well, if you're supplying the stuff and everything else, you might as well have get something semi out of it.
Yeah, well, I won't get anything out of it.
No, but I meant at least they should accept what you're willing to put into it.
Yeah, Jody says, sounds like a little like they're taking advantage of you, Steve. Oh, yeah.
Well, and then anyway, we volunteered for this symposium thing, and we volunteered for this what they call RMG Exposed, which is it's a fundraiser.
It's their major fundraiser of the year.
Yeah, and so but they have another event on October 26th, and we already told them we can't go to that event. So they send us a list about all these things that we could be volunteering for on October 26th.
Yeah.
Well, we had already told them we can't go do it on 26th.
Yeah, I mean, how many times do you have to tell them this? And then got a letter, an email from the education department, which is what I was originally doing, along with other people, for the kids and stuff. That basically, essentially, it said blah 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 blah, jargon, 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 jargon. Goals, ambitions, mission statements, things like this. We don't need you anymore. Goodbye. Drop dead. So they have a new direction. They've created a whole new curriculum, which is fine, but it's all because of one person there who will not be there forever. I can guarantee that. But whatever. So technically we're docents. Docents is the old term for educators. People who go in and take people on tours in the art gallery. They've gotten rid of all of us. Some of those people have been there for 20, 25 years and the whole bit. There has always been, since the beginning of this art gallery, 51 years ago, there have always been docents. If any art gallery you go into, that, to my knowledge, there are docents there. That's a staple. And some galleries pay them, some galleries is volunteer. Ours was volunteer with it, mainly because our art gallery doesn't have any money. But so one person came in. She just took things by storm and doing all this very elaborate curriculum. Now it's an all-day thing. These schools sign up. These kids come in. They're there most of the day. Before, it was like they were there for an hour and a half or so in groups. I'm not saying that the curriculum idea is bad. It's just that it's not sustainable, in my opinion, because you need to be a teacher to deliver it. And you'd have to be trained on top of it. And they're not doing that with anybody. So be it. And I don't know. I think the one who put this all together is a little bit afraid of me because she started throwing around a lot of education jargon. 21st century learning, all this stuff. And the first time I met her, I came in with the document from the ministry about 21st century learning and from the Ministry of Education. And she says, "Where'd you get that?" I said, "Online." But I said, "I've had a copy of it for many years. We've been using this in the school system before I retired." "Oh." I said, "Yeah, quite familiar with it." "Oh." And then I said to her, "By the way," now I was getting nasty. I said, "She's working on her master's degree in education, yet she's not really a teacher. She came from England, I don't know how long ago, a few years ago. That's where she got her, as far as I know, that's where she got her education to be a teacher. I think she taught somewhere for a little bit, but it sounds to me like she didn't really like the classroom all that much. Now she's doing her master's degree in education at the University of Toronto, and this whole thing that she's done with this new curriculum smells like her master's thesis. In fact, I'm sure it's her master's thesis. In fact, in that email that she sent out about not needing us anymore, it mentions some statistics from surveys that they had done. There's a part of the University of Toronto, it's called OISE, Ontario Institute of Secondary Studies, Ontario Institute of Studies in Education, or something like that. I have a Master's of Education degree too. And guess what I specialized in? Curriculum development and foundations. Same thing that she's probably taking. And I did a master's thesis as well. And I know exactly what she's doing with the whole thing. But when she found out that I had a master's degree in education, and I said, and by the way, I've written curriculum from the provincial level all the way down to the classroom level for many years, the board level, you name it. That's what my specialization is. I think that put her over the edge. I don't want her job. I just want to
Volunteer there.
volunteer what I was doing before, but whatever. So we're just moving on to new opportunities. So let's see, what are people saying? Stephen, buy a pack of Sand Bitters soda off Amazon. Use it in drinks. It's delightful. So it's actual what they call bitters. I know you can get like bitters to put in certain. I've never really had them, but is that what the kind of thing is? And Mel says this sounds like my days at work. Designer's nightmare. Go and look a great website, clientsfromhell.net. It has lots of good stories about clients and designers. Tracy says conservatives defund art and music because it rewrites brains and promotes critical thinking. Yes, yeah, they. This government too is not really a friend to the arts. Oh, Anita's here. Hi, Anita. Phyllis says, then you moved the sound wire when you did the close-up. Walter, you demand. Then you moved the sound wire when you did the close-up.
Yeah, when you moved,
Yeah.
you did move the sound wire when the close-up was here. The whole thing dragged over there.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh, okay. Well, man, I wonder if they're... Well, is it still cutting in and out? People, anybody, let us know. Oh, Kathy says it's doing it. Right now, your voices are weird again.
Oh.
Yeah, Mel says problems with voice again. I wonder if I've got to shorten the microphone.
Yeah, maybe.
Well, there's one other thing we can... I don't know if I unplug that and let it do it's from its own speaker, but it's going to change the
I
sound.
wonder if the bowl's making any kind of impact on it.
I don't know. Yeah, Cindy says hello, and yes, it's cracking.
It's cracking.
So that sounds like a short.
Yeah, maybe you'll have to get a new one.
Okay, what's it sound like now, people? Is it worse, better? What? Deb says yes, it was a not weird sound here, Phyllis Nell says.
Not weird sound?
Not weird sound, yeah. So, okay. Now everybody says it's okay, so
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Well, I moved the bowl. Maybe there was getting an echo in the bowl. Like underneath, like...
Well, yeah, but we've had
I don't
stuff
know.
said
We've
there
had
before.
stuff
That's
before, I don't know.
Okay, Deb says it's okay at the minute. Okay, getting some static, Anita says.
Oh.
But Kathy says it's clear. Okay, well, don't know. That's kind of weird. I'll have to do some experiments to see.
Yeah, I'll have to do some tests.
Well, that's the microphone I use all the time for my vlogs too, so I don't know. I've been wrapping the cord around. Maybe it's caused a problem that way. I don't know.
Well, you said that mic wasn't very expensive.
No, it wasn't. It was $20. Okay. Anita says, okay, getting some static. Cindy says, yep, it's your cord. Still cracking. Okay, so maybe I gotta shorten the microphone. All right, have to look for a new microphone, I guess. Actually, what I'd like is a wireless one, but you have to get those with those packs and everything. Okay, so what's eating you, Walter? Nothing, eh?
No, not really.
Yeah, okay, fine. So what are we watching? There's a new program started last week on one of the Canadian channels called Manifest. It's about these people in an airplane, and the airplane disappeared, and 5 years ago...
I think it's actually an American show.
Is it an American show?
Yeah.
And the airplane suddenly comes in for a landing 5 years later. And these people didn't know that they were missing and didn't realize that 5 years has disappeared. And it's hard to say how this show's going to go. Not really sure if we like it or not. The first show was, it's a little weird. So we'll see. Anita says you're sounding good now. Mel says it's like your words were cut into pieces. Don't think it's your microphone. I wonder if it's if there's something going on with the reception.
Maybe, yeah.
With the internet. I don't know. Tracy says MH370. What's MH370? Is that a microphone? Tracy?
Oh, MH370, isn't that the airplane that went down?
Oh, is that what it was supposed to be?
Well, no, I think it had related to when they figured out the show. There was the Malaysian airline that went
Oh.
missing.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, Elaine says she saw Manifest, but she's a little bit ambivalent about it also. Now, Brenda says voice cracking now. Okay, well.
We should maybe try and get a new microphone and see how that works. And then maybe test a little bit with this one.
Yeah, I'll have to see. So, don't know. Okay, so that's what was on TV this week. We went to the show this week to see that movie, The House with the Clock in the Walls. It's kind of a kid's movie. So I don't recommend it. It could have been a lot better.
Yeah.
It's supposed to have magic and stuff in it, Harry Potter-ish type thing. And they really cheaped out on the special effects. I mean, they had a few good ones, but the storyline is kind of cheesy.
I did read somewhere that they didn't think it was adapted very well from the book.
Oh, no? No, Cindy says not cracking now. And Kathy says not cracking, but Brenda says still cracking for her. Okay, weird. So that we saw that, and on YouTube last night we started to watch a whole bunch of series of things about people that live in tiny houses. Those little like trailer things, kind of a deal that people. It's all the rage in the States, I guess now, and I don't know if it's around other parts of the world or not. But these tiny little places. It's kind of interesting watching how they store stuff, or I guess it would force you to not buy a whole lot of things because you have no place to put it, that's for sure. But it was kind of interesting. Mel says, I started to watch A Discovery of Witches from HBO. It's really good. Don't know if it's available on Netflix, but recommend if you can see it somewhere. Is that based on a book? I think there was a book I read a few years ago, and I think it was called Discovery of Witches. And I thought it was a trilogy or something. I thought I read all 3 books, but I can't remember if that's it or not. We're not cracking for Angela now. Parisi says, I watched people go dumpster diving on YouTube. That might be kind of interesting to watch.
Yeah.
See what they find with that. What else? I made chili this week. Yeah. It's the fall season. I always like to make chili and then freeze it. And that was excitement. Deb says, I've been watching the tiny houses too. They are amazing what they can do in them and how they fit everything in.
However, I do think they have a real issue with storage.
Yeah.
As long as you don't have very many clothes.
Yeah. Oh, Phyllis says, when you handle it, it crackled. Okay, another experiment, people. Microphone crackling. Not sure. Nobody's. Give them a second.
Well, anyway, so...
Well, Cindy's making chicken stew.
Oh.
And Mel says the dumpster diver ones are great. They find great stuff sometimes with it too.
Well, I suppose you could. There's a lot of people throw stuff out or even businesses throw a lot of stuff out that you wonder whether they should have been thrown out or not.
Yeah. Priest says the big thing now is people who live in their cars, no longer tiny houses, but car living. Huh.
I don't know about that.
And Elaine says no cracking here, so I don't know.
Car living.
Yeah.
So obviously people that are instead of they're sort of like rich street people.
Well, or maybe they just don't have any other place to live, but they've got a car. I don't know. Well, anyways, the tiny houses are kind of interesting, but I don't think I'd be able to live in one. I'm claustrophobic.
Especially the lofts.
Yeah, where the ceiling's about this far from your head, like from your face when you're sleeping. No. That I wouldn't like at all. I wouldn't be able
I'm
to handle it.
surprised he doesn't get claustrophobic in a cruise ship room.
Well, but the ceiling's not down on
Yeah,
top of
okay,
me.
well.
Like, there's lots of room in a cruise ship cabin, like for that.
Were you claustrophobic in when we were in Patricia's boat?
Yes, a little bit. Not that bad though. Actually, I think what was it was more the smell of the mustiness of the room that was more disturbing me than the smallness of it. But anyways, that's a story for another day. Van living is a big thing, not for me, says Anita. Oh yes, well, if you need a house. But I mean, I wonder how much they pay for these tiny houses by the time they get them all customized and what the things they're doing with them.
Well, they're not. Yeah, I know, but they're not. It's not what you have to pay for a regular house.
No, but you got to park it somewhere.
I did see prices at one point, and I didn't think it was too bad. Like,
yeah, but you got to park it somewhere. So you have
yeah,
that
you still have to. I guess there's a big issue about getting places to park at, and I guess there's a big issue with insurances and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, I would think that that's probably there. So that probably your insurance.
I know there's one that I watched that was actually a company that was doing it, and people were buying a parcel of land and putting it on their parcel of land. So.
Well, I suppose. Actually, we get a tiny house put in the backyard, and then it could become a sewing studio. Make one big enough for a long arm. Yeah.
Probably take up most of our backyard.
Yeah, probably. Well, we're not using it anyways.
Yeah,
but such as it is. But anyways, so I'm trying to think of anything else this week that was of any interest or whatnot.
This week was kind of a boring week. So.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, nothing really too exciting happened this week. We'll have to do another Stephen and Walter Art Attack one time. I had thought about doing that today, but I got waylaid by my quilt.
Busy on his quilt.
And then there was a lot of cursing and swearing. So, it doesn't come up here on over there. I can't think of anything else. Oh, Angela says underground parking bothers me. Claustrophobia. Yeah. Yeah, well, I have claustrophobia too, so I sympathize with you on that one.
And I'm not claustrophobic, I just have fear of heights. Yeah, like those crazy people. We saw some guy riding a bicycle on a ledge of a building way up high. And there's all these ones where these, I don't know if they're probably still doing it, people that take selfies in dangerous places.
Yeah, off of
like off top of high-rise buildings and that. And then there's a whole thing on the internet where you can see selfies of people that died doing it. Right? So.
Yeah.
And I remember reading of a young couple with two small children. They were on, they went there's a cliff in Europe somewhere. And there's a fence that said, don't go beyond this cliff, go beyond this fence. So the parents went beyond the fence to take their selfie, left their kids on the other side of the fence and fell off the cliff.
Okay, bright move. Yay, new parents. How to get rid of your parents. Well, there's those ones in a place not far from us as you go towards Toronto it's a suburb of Toronto called Scarborough. There's something called the Scarborough Bluffs. And they're these high...
They're fairly high.
Yeah, fairly high. They're
bluffs that go into Lake Ontario, and people fall off them all the time.
All the time, or have to be rescued from them because there's signs and there's fences and everything, and they just climb over the top of them, and then they have these rescue things like the police, ambulance, fire department, whatever, come and have to get them off the side of this bluff because they can't go up, they can't go down. They're stuck in the middle. And that costs taxpayers money. And they've been talking about how many people have been doing this lately. And there's no reason to do it. There's signs there that say, look, you could if you go on the other side of this fence, you could die. What more? Why do people have to do that? Anita says, we are leaving for vacation for a few days on Wednesday. I may not be back in time for Sunday. Okay, Anita. We'll be here. You can see the rebroadcast. We're not going to do the Art Attack next weekend, though, because it's Thanksgiving weekend here in Canada. So, as I said, we'll be going to my sister's place, so we're going to start an hour early. So at 3 o'clock for anybody who.
When do you have to do your next?
My next art journal class is the weekend after Thanksgiving. Yeah. It would have been this weekend coming because it's always the first Sunday of the month. But because Thanksgiving fell early
yeah,
this year,
okay,
we
yeah.
didn't do that. So it's the one after that. Now, Phyllis says, yes, when you picked it up and put it down, it crackled, the microphone.
I bet you there's a short in it.
Must be. But nobody else is saying that.
Mm.
Elaine says, do you serve traditional food for Thanksgiving? I don't know. I don't know what my sister's having.
She usually has turkey.
She usually has turkey, yeah.
Which is, I guess, traditional. Here it's usually turkey or ham, right?
Yeah, usually turkey or ham. Well, actually, turkey's usual thing
Yeah.
for it. Ham's usually Christmas. Turkey or ham at Christmas. Turkey
Well, I
usually
thought
is.
ham was more at Easter.
Or Easter. Yeah, Easter's ham. But I don't know. It's whatever people want, I guess.
They seem to sell a lot of ham and turkey at this point in time. Like here now, you've got hams on sale and you've got turkeys on sale.
Yeah. So I imagine my sister will do a turkey. Anita says, no, I wish just Nashville.
Well,
Yeah,
she's
Anita's
to
going.
Nash-
She's going to see Ed Sheeran.
Yeah.
And Brenda's having chili dogs for supper tonight.
Mm.
Chili dogs.
You can have those too.
No. Yeah, well, now we've got chili, and we do have hot dogs. No, you're going to do your flattened chicken.
In the Instapot.
Walter makes flattened chickens. No, he doesn't run his car over them. He rips the backbone out of them. It's kind of
I
sadistic.
forget. There's a name for them. We talked about that before.
Yeah, I know.
There's a name for them. I can't remember what they call them. But they're basically. But I do that because in case of barbecue, them they're easier to barbecue.
Well, we didn't barbecue anything this year.
We barbecued the chicken before. We barbecued chicken. We didn't barbecue that much because I do a lot of sous vide these days. Right?
Oh, yeah, so it's all about the sous vide.
But yeah, we haven't barbecued that much this year.
No. Well, what's coming up? Oh, well, Tuesday you've got double whammy on that. And also the Tuesday night I've got the first of the seasons. I'm now a full-fledged member of the local quilting guild. So I have that on Tuesday night. No, I'm crackling again, according to Elaine. So, all right, if we're crackling again, I didn't touch the microphone. So, I don't know.
Okay.
That's weird. Mel says, is Thanksgiving celebrated in other countries than U.S. and Canada?
That's a good question.
That's a good question. Don't know if it is. And the Americans don't have Thanksgiving until in November.
Closer to Christmas.
Yeah,
whereas
closer to Christmas.
They have Black Friday sales then or something.
Yeah, and everything. Yeah, it's usually the last
Thursday. I think.
Thursday of November, I think, in the States. In Canada, ours fluctuates. It's always in October, but this year it's a little bit earlier. Usually it's in around, sometimes it can be as late as the third weekend in October. So I don't know what they govern that on.
I don't know.
How they make that decision. I don't know if it has something to do with the phases of the moon. I have no idea what it is. Anita says, I'm really looking forward to it. It's been a hard week. Lost an uncle on Monday, a cousin on Tuesday, and had to put my cat down on Friday.
Oh,
I'm ready.
God.
Geez, you've had a hell of a week. Crepes. Yeah, so you should enjoy your trip then. And Phyllis says Instapot is wonderful and versatile. Yeah, we saw a thing on YouTube last night. Somebody was using an active fry type thing, the air fryer, to try and duplicate Kentucky Fried Chicken. She seemed to think it was the one that was on the YouTube. It was the same
Well,
and
it's
delicious.
like an advertisement.
But it was pink. Like, I don't eat pink chicken. No. Kathy says 4th Thursday of November. Oh, that's when the American Thanksgiving is. 4th Thursday. Okay, it's the last one. All right. Oh, Tracy says there's a new Instapot with a built-in air fryer.
Oh, I didn't see that.
No. What brand's that, Pracy?
Is
Do you
it
know?
actually Instapot or is it a?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know if it's really any advantage to us because we have an actor fry, so we'll use that every once in a while. But and then just the Instapot.
Oh, the term for flattened chicken, Catherine says, is spatchcocked.
Yeah, that's right. It is spatchcock.
Yeah. The Pracy says the ninja food. The ninja food? I don't understand. Ninja food. Not sure what that is. The name of the